my fellow citizens of all nations, do we really want freedom or just security? Animal in the zoo is safe and well fed, while wild animal is free but vulnerable. Which one would you want to be? We, as a modern society, we are trying to do sort of trade-off. We are trying to trade security in exchange for freedom, mortgages, our safe jobs, and etc. These are all forms of the way we exchange our freedom for more security. For example, if we are not in this safe environment, we might fear certain things and certain bad things can happen to us. So as a society, we want to be safe because for us it does not make any sense. Without security, what's the point of freedom? If we are not secure, freedom is sort of useless. There is a thing. In modern societies, we are trying to do this exchange. So, for example, we have a justice system and we have certain points where certain behaviors are getting restricted. For example, cameras everywhere to detect possible violent behavior or just monitor certain activities to just make sure this could be viewed. And it's a deterrence factor for lots of bad people because they see that there is a camera and suddenly they want to behave much better because of the existence of a camera. But the same cameras also limit our freedom. The devices we are using to be more secure in certain sense also limit our freedom. For example, we might have access to this defensive tool for the sake of safety, but we have to realize that there are bigger government organizations that have that same tool in much more powerful way, in much more powerful form that can limit our freedoms. And if somebody is able to give you everything, or some institutes, they can also take it away from you. It is how it has always been. So we come to the natural conclusion that while safety is necessary for society, it might also turn into a cage. While freedom is desirable, it could be potentially very dangerous, and not many might truly want that form of freedom. Most would prefer security. So, a modern system and modern society comes down to this: how much are we going to trade, and how much the balance between these two things is going to be. And whatever the choice is, we have to realize that there is a price to pay, and price for it might be a different sort of future. For example, Orwellian future is a high possibility in that sense if enough freedoms are gone. And also there is an interesting thing where in a caged society we see people might be prospering, might be growing, but they are not necessarily growing in their truest form, because the way you grow in a cage is not the way you would grow in a wild. It's unnatural form of growth. And you would agree if you visit the zoo that animals in the wild, while they look kind of similar, their instincts, their spirit, and their motivation, and their something that cannot be defined with words is different, fundamental different. I mean, could you imagine a predator, for example, that you are watching in a zoo? There is a good chance that if you had seen that predator in a wild, you would just feel much more like tremendous fear, because there is something instinctive that tells us that, oh, this is just a domesticated cat, and there is something instinctive when you see a real thing, then you realize that this is a real predator and I'm the prey right now, and you would feel different emotions.